Hey everybody, Will Fix here, and guess what? I have another video for you today. Today, the XRP mystery. I've had people ask me questions about tokenization and how it affects the price of XRP. First, we're going to talk about tokenization of real-world assets and kind of explore how big of an idea this is, how massive it is. Then at the end of that discussion, we'll talk about how XRP will be affected price-wise. Here's the questions. If you tokenize a $500,000 house, does it take the equivalent of $500,000 in tokens to do so? And then that money is put on the XRP chain, driving the price up? Is that how it works? And there's multiple different ways that people think about it. So we're going to discover that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to answer it at the end. First, let's talk about tokenization of real-world assets. To start the conversation, let's start with the Mona Lisa. Wouldn't it be cool if you like the Mona Lisa? It could be any art, okay? But wouldn't it be cool if you could own a piece of the Mona Lisa? What if you could own a part of that? Wouldn't that would have prestige to it, wouldn't it? It would have value. Let's suppose, just for the sake of conversation, that the owner of the Mona Lisa, I suppose it's a museum, decides they want to tokenize it. And they're tokenizing, let's say, 25% of the value. So they split it up into 25 different, 25%. So they cut that up into, let's say, 10,000 pieces. And they establish a price for it. And for the sake of this conversation, it's $100 per piece. And you can own a piece of the Mona Lisa. So they create a non-fungible token, an NFT, which isn't just a picture. That means it's an irreplaceable. Non-fungible means it can't be replaced with another. So that means each one would be serialized. And you would have, let's say you bought number one for $100. Now you own a piece of the Mona Lisa. Now what does that do for you? Well, the idea that you own a piece of the Mona Lisa. Next, let's say the museum cuts you in on a percentage of the tickets that are paid for entrance into the museum or donations, however it is that they gather money, but you get a percentage now since you own a little tiny piece. So you can make money off of the Mona Lisa. Now let's say the Leonardo da Vinci, a new painting of Leonardo da Vinci or a previously lost Leonardo da Vinci painting is discovered, and they're going to hang it right beside the Mona Lisa. Well, now the Mona Lisa is going to get more traction, right? So you're going to make more money. But it brings the Mona Lisa into the picture, and the tokenization, and the increased value. Now the token itself carries a value. So let's say instead of $100, now your token's worth $150 because of supply and demand. So the value that you paid for it stayed $100. Now you can sell your token, right, if you want to, for $150. Or you can just keep making the money and have the prestige of, man, I own a piece of the Mona Lisa. Okay, now let's say it goes on tour because this new picture that's found, this new painting that's found is going on tour, and they just raise more and more money. Well, now you have several different ways you can make money. You can make money because the token's gaining value. You can make money because it's generating cash flow. You can also make money from it going on tour. So you own a piece of the Mona Lisa. So the museum gets to have its cake and eat it too. It just raised a bunch of money, and it still owns 75%. So it owns full control over the Mona Lisa. But it also has dispersed value, excitement, and prestige amongst a lot of people that now own a piece. And now they can trade their piece. They can trade their token. So the tokenization of real world assets will be fascinating for art. Now, let's talk about another possibility. The tokenization of real estate. Fractional real estate marketplace. You can go to lofty.ai. Now, I own several pieces of property on Lofty AI. In the background, did you know they're using Algorand? So you buy Algorand, and or you don't have to purchase Algorand, I'm sorry. But when you purchase it, the token's held by Algorand that's in your wallet. It's on the Algorand network. Okay, let's talk about tokenization of real estate. Here at lofty.ai, it's fractional real estate marketplace. Now, I own several of these. I've owned several tokens on several different rental properties for a while now. It's really awesome. Let's go inside and take a look real quick. Let's view the properties. All right, I own some of this one right here. I own some of 90 Madison Avenue. It's at $58 a token. Okay, so you can buy a fraction of this particular property in Albany, New York. Look, you can look at all the photos. So you can own, there's 50 photos. So we'll just go through a couple. You can own a little piece of this rental property. Isn't that awesome? So you go on here, you can look at the place. You get voting rights. You get where you vote on different changes, or if something's going wrong with the rent and they have to settle an issue, you have a voting right. So you're going to have to vote. So you buy one for $58. And look, projected annual return, 13.13%. That's a pretty good return. Projected rental yield, 8.93%. And the rental yield has been 10.7%, so it's been better. Now look at this, the price of so it's doing better than what they anticipated. Now look at this, the price of the token. The price of the token has had, look man, it had a bottom there. Don't you wish you'd have got it for $1? Right? Somebody sold out, and I don't know why they sold for $1, but $63. So you see, the token that you own can also be adjusted in value by supply and demand. Isn't that interesting? Now, I'm collecting rent on a piece. Now, if I'm getting, let's just figure this out. Let's say it's 10%, and let's say that's $60, so we can keep the numbers where I can do it, okay? Or let's say $50. So I got a $50 token, and I'm earning 10% rent. Well, let's take the decimal point over 1, so it'll go over 1 for both. So I put $580 in it. That means I would make $100 on my rental yield. Well, let's go one more. Let's say I put $5,803. I'm buying over time. Well, now my rental amount would be 10% of $5,800. So it'd be $580. Well, now I'm getting, that's per year. So now I'm getting close to, and it's divided by 12, so it's not exactly right, but close to $50 a month for a $5,800 investment. Well, let's take it one more to the right. Say I put $58,000 in it. Now I'm getting $5,800 a year, and just keep taking the decimal to the right. Now there's other properties. So this allows you to start purchasing property and earning rental income one token at a time. Now, if I was going to give advice, which I can't, I would say get you $500, sign up. By the way, I have a link in my description that you will get $50 for using the link. They will gift you $50 towards your first purchase. But this tokenization of property, let's look at another one. All right, let's go through here. 88 Madison. I own some of this one. I bought it $50. Now look, it's at 73. Look at the projected annual return. Okay, where are you going to get that? Where you have it in property, not just in some jacked up something somewhere. I mean, mine here, I bought 6 of these, and and now they're worth $73.43. You think I want to sell them? No, because it increased in price from 50, which it was a good interest rate at 50, but now it's the same interest rate at a higher token. So I can sell the token, or I can make this money, move the decimal to the right. If I put $734 in it, and you figured how much 33, let's go with 30%, then you're looking at $734. What would that be? 10% would be $73. So 30% would be $73 times 3. So that would be 7, 140, 210, 200, and I don't know, $23, $223 a year. Go one more over, right, where you put in 7,000. You see, you can start making some money, and you can buy them one at a time. The tokenization of real world assets is alive and well. I'm invested in it. Now let's play with this idea. Okay, let's say start a new building program into Dubai, and let's say they're building a hotel. Okay, so I'm just casting a weird idea, but just check this out with me just for a second. We're going to talk about how it affects the XRP price whenever stuff is tokenized here in just a second. So let's say if you wanted to participate in owning a piece of a hotel in Dubai that's being built, the amount of trouble it would be for you to probably have to cross the seas, meet the people. You'd probably have to be approved. You have to be approved by the bank. It'd have to be a certain sum of money. They wouldn't want just $100 or $500. They wouldn't want all that. So you'd have all this red tape you'd have to go through, and to do a loan and to be included in one of the big dogs, if you even could. But now let's say they decide to tokenize the building, and so the idea is it's an adventure hotel. I'm just making this up, but let's say it's an adventure hotel. In order to get into the hotel, you have to be able to scale the wall just to get to your room. They take your bags up, and they have a staircase of shame with a large TV in the big open area that shows anybody using the staircase, and they play funny music while you walk up the steps. But the general idea is you have to climb the wall to get to your room. So you climb the wall. The only way you can leave, let's say it's an internal water slide, that you have to go down, or you have to hang glide off the top of the building, or base jump. And also they have the feast, and the food served is through the required hunting that you have to do in the different areas that they take you hunting in, and that is how the food shows up. And if you don't get you some game during the week, you have to start paying for your meals. I don't know. I'm just making it up, casting an idea. But this adventure hotel just grabs everybody's excitement. And so you heard about it, and you went and spent $500 a token and bought yourself 2 tokens for $1,000. Now you've decided, let's say they give you 2 different types of tokens you could buy. You could buy them at $500, where you're locked in for 2 years and can't sell until 2 years. They hadn't built it yet. Or you could have paid, I'm just making this up, $650 per token, but you could sell it at any time. And so let's change up. Let's say you bought the 2, you can sell at any time. You bought the 2, $650. So you bought 2 of those. And this thing goes viral. It goes viral. It's going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. And the value of your token shoots to the moon. Well, you can sell it, or you can keep it, and you're going to make a portion of what's paid and the value increase of that particular building. So you might want to hang on to it, and it was easy. You were on the internet, you found it, it got advertised all over the world, bam, you bought it, you own a piece of this hotel with ease. Now let's look at the hotel side for a second. They want to raise money. Well, they just put it on the internet and just received tons of money, and they're not on the limb. They're not leveraged to a particular bank. Now they're leveraged to the idea that they've cast, and they have raised all of this money to build the hotel. So it's like a win-win scenario. So the tokenization of real-world assets is going to be, it is a phenomenal idea that's already taken place. Let's say they tokenize a football team, a portion of it, where you own a portion of that team. And maybe you bought in a team that's not doing so well. So you bought some of those tokens. Well, suddenly they start having a winning season. Well, now your tokens are worth more. Now the ticket sales are up. Now the merchandise sales are up. Now you're making more and more money, and you own a portion of the team. I mean, how fantastic would that be if you own a little piece of, I don't even want to say a team, college teams could do it. They could do that to raise money for particular things, come up with an idea and tokenize it. And what if they tokenize, what if you bought season tickets and those were tokenized? Then you had some games you didn't want to go to, and you could trade that particular day's token. Let's say it was a whole batch of tokens that you got for a season. Maybe you could pre-order several years. The ones that you don't want, you could sell. And then if the team did really well, you could make money off of the ticket sales of that particular token. Or if they did poorly, you could dump the tickets and just get the remaining money, right? And the value would go down. But you see the implications of being able to tokenize things. Your ID can be tokenized, and of course we know that that's probably, it's probably going to eventually be the mark of the beast when it's forced to be done. So we don't want to get into that right now, because we could twist this whole thing into a whole bizarre video. Okay, now let's talk about how it's going to affect the price of XRP and how tokenization works. So when you tokenize a piece of property, what are you tokenizing? Do you have to upload all of the value? Does all of the value purchase, let's say XRP, XRPL, let's say it's on the XRP network, so that we can just continue in the same idea. So if it's a $500,000 house, do we buy $500,000 worth of tokens? And then if XRP goes to $1, did we just make money? Does it work that way? Is that how it's going to add money to the blockchain? No, it doesn't work that way. Don't be disappointed. Hear me out. It requires one token to tokenize a house. You're only tokenizing the idea of the house. You're going to have in the token, in the NFT, the deed, everything that's required, and all the information that says this is ownership of the home. So then the ownership of the home is transferred from person to person. The sale is a separate issue. Could it be with XRP? Yeah, if that's facilitated. But it could be with a bank. It could be with anything. But then that token will change hands. So how will that affect the price of XRP? I'll tell you in a second. Some of you have already figured it out. And I'm not just talking about added value. So what about smart contracts? Smart contracts that might represent all kinds of ideas. They're already talking about having to come up with some pure information sources for smart contracts, because smart contracts can be triggered by, a betting. Let's say it's just you bet on who's winning the election. Well, how's it going to know? How's it going to gather the information? There needs to be some legit truth. I believe tokenization is going to help with some truth being out there in reporting and news, because smart contracts that are going to be affected by things that you put out there, if this happens, that happens, it triggers this, it triggers that, it's going to have to be a source of pure information. But so smart contracts, well, that'll take up one token, a smart contract. A smart contract can represent a whole bunch of an exchange of money that's triggered from bank accounts, or identifications of different bank accounts and transfers of funds, and create a domino effect of multiple decisions in a smart contract. So how do smart contracts affect the value of XRP? Well, it only takes one. So how is this going to work? How is this going to influence the price of XRP? Here's how it will influence the price of XRP, and this is so massive. When you tokenize a piece of property, that XRP is now used for a purpose. Now, until that house burns down, blows up, explodes, catches on fire, or is, destroyed in a nuclear war, that token is used. It is used. It is taken up. It cannot be used for cross-border transactions. It can't be used for anything else. All of the smart contracts that take up an XRP cannot be used for cross-border transactions. When you reduce the supply, sorry about my phone. When you reduce the supply, you're going to affect and increase the price. When millions of homes, when buildings and real-world assets and art and all types of things are being tokenized, and it's taking up a token. It's taking up a token that could be used for cross-border payments. Now, the value of each token is going up and up and up when you do that. Anytime, just like if you saw my video, if you haven't seen my video, that I'm here at 20 minutes, so I'm gonna put it up here. If you haven't seen two of my videos, look at those now. One of them I talk about how the price of XRP will go up using a freeway analogy. And the other one, I actually have a spreadsheet where I break down the price that shows if this much money goes in, how much of the price goes up. Because, you can reverse figure it, right? You can go by market price, divide it by how many coins, and you come up with the XRP price. Well, so the opposite can be done. If you put this much more money in the system and the coins are increased, you can say, oh, that'll affect it this much. Anyway, long story short, tokenization will drive the price of XRP way up because it uses coins for another purpose other than cross-border transactions. It is a very positive thing, and that's how the tokenization affects the price of XRP. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it went a little long. Please like and subscribe. Get a decent wallet. Look at lofty.ai. Use my link. If you're going to get you some tokenized property, that's a great place to get it. I have a bunch of them, and it's making me money. And so I can recommend it for myself. So you look at it and see if it's something you would like to do. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next video.